Hello, hello. Welcome to the daily 1 hour political tarot readings. And on Sunday, I tack on some time at the end to answer any of your uh, general knowledge astrology questions. I'm known as Autumn around here, and this is my co-host. This is the wonderful Boo Boo Zen Kitty. He's the good boy. He's the good boy. Okay, just so you know, I usually spend the first 10 or 15 minutes where I gather your questions. Oh, am I disturbing you? Am I disturbing you? Oh, hopefully he'll come back. And then, so if you have any questions, just put them in all caps in the chat. Comments beneath the video, they don't need to be in all caps. But in the chat, if anything's in all caps, I assume it's you're talking to me. So that just makes things easier for everybody, because everybody is so friendly, which I'm really grateful for. Thank you. And they're really supportive of each other. So people say hello to each other and help each other, and it's wonderful to see. Also, we have the best. There's Wandering Eyes, Jean, Linda. It's just, we have the best moderators, and there are others as well. Kathy W. Noel. I mean, it's just. We have fantastic moderators who make this possible. So thank you so much. Greatly appreciate it. Okay, and for anyone who's interested, just so you know, there's a link I put in the chat, but I also put it, I pinned it in the first comment. And if anybody wants the updated, I updated a while back, but I finally got around to finding it again and putting it up. This is, I've updated the basic astrology learning. It's kind of a basic template so that if you're trying to learn, or you get, you're not sure, you can see that the basic chart with some things in the first house. You can see it's first house, it's ruled by Aries, there's number 1 there, and it talks here about the different signs, what house they rule, and here are the planets listed out and what they represent, and here we have the symbols for the different planets, and then the whether they're fire or water or air or earth signs, and so, and there's, for anyone who doesn't know, signs are either cardinal, fixed, or mutable. And then cardinal, fixed, mutable, cardinal, fixed, mutable, cardinal, fixed, mutable, and it has to do with how, like, there's stubborn. Taurians are stubborn. It's a fixed sign. Scorpios are stubborn, really stubborn. Aquarius can be, Leo can be, whereas Geminis are known to be flighty. It's like every quadrant, where when you enter a quadrant, you have the cardinal sign, which is taking action, and it's all about taking, and there's this element of taking action. And then the fixed sign was like, I'm in my quadrant, I belong here. And then the mutable sign, where it's like, okay, we need to get a little more loosey-goosey because we're about to go into another quadrant. And then you've got Cancer, which is cardinal again, and then fixed, Leo, saying, I'm happy in my quadrant, and then loosey-goosey, mutable, on and on. Anyway, so this is, the links are there, totally free, available to everybody. This, whatever might help you. Okay? So then when someone's talking about astrology, and they're like, oh, that 10th house, it's all about status. It's like, oh, 10th house, career and status. We achieve. Ruled by Capricorn, that's the symbol. It's a cardinal sign. It's ruled by Saturn. It's an earth sign. Okay, I got this. I've absolutely got this down. Because everything that you think of in modern Western astrology. Hang on, let me do I just have I know I've got just a normal, plain old chart of something in here. Oh yeah. See, so when you see like that, it's like, oh my gosh, what is that? Oh no, you can just go, oh, I see. Okay. So this planet, Mars, which is normally here, and this is, okay, now if this Mars has this meaning and it's over here, okay, so it's going to act this way. Anyway, so it'll give you, oh, Lords, you're most welcome. So anyway, and besides, it's pretty. So anyway, that is available in the link. Help yourself. And but you, I'll tack on questions at the end about astrology. But I did want to. Oh, thank you. Love the colors. Yeah, it's fun. I actually put this together as far as the colors go, because I find that these colors most represent those signs. And I saw this here. It's like, oh, purple, Sagittarius. I always equate purple with Sagittarius. And Capricorn is kind of a dark gray. Aquarius is kind of a silver. You know, of course, Aries is red, and then Scorpio is a kind of more of a blood red, unfortunately, but that's just how it is. So, and of course, Leo is gold. Anyway, these are the colors I associate. That's more yellow. That's more gold. Libra is all about the pretty. Fairness, but very, very pretty, ruled by Venus. If there's a pink sign, it's going to be Libra. But anyway, all right. And all of the really strong, super strong Libras out there are like, I beg your pardon. No, it's not everybody. I'm just saying in general. Anyway. Ooh, Lords is saying I'm making a tarot scope cloth. Very cool. I may use your color. Oh my gosh, that would be wonderful. You're most welcome to. You are absolutely most welcome to. Okay. If I don't get to your questions, it's never anything personal, seriously. Also, I just wanted to mention, if you were watching the replay of this, you can go down to the comments. I'll have a list of the questions covered today, and then you can just click on the timestamping to go exactly where you want to go. Some days, I mean, I do my best while I'm doing the live stream. Sometimes there's a delay before I can get back here to make it really accurate down to the second, but I do try. I clean up the formatting, and I rewrite question days, so I make it as nice as possible for you. But it should be generally ballpark correct by the end of the live stream. So Ian's asking, Autumn, how will Kanye West affect the November election? Oh, Susan, what effect will Kanye West have on the election now that he's running for president? Yeah. Kanye West announced yesterday that he needs more attention. That's all that was. Oh, thank you, Allison. Joanna, Libra, just ordered pink sandals. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Yeah, he's really going to be a spoiler. All we need is another megalomaniac, Ewat is saying. Exactly. Mims is getting back to work in the garden. We'll be listening in the background. Excellent, excellent. Steve, okay, so you've got good questions. So here, let me scroll up and get all of your political questions. I'll do tarot, and then, like I said, afterward, I add on extra time on Sundays to answer any of your basic, general knowledge astrology questions. It's pretty simple once you know the basics, but just kind of wrapping your head around the basics, it can be difficult. I'm always learning. I'm still learning. I just watched Steve Judd before I came here. Yeah, and that man has forgotten more in the last week about astrology than I will ever know in my entire life. So, Steve Judd with 2 D's. If you want an astrology video, he's the guy. Anyway, okay. Mims, who's going out to the garden. Please read on whether Xi will succeed long-term as president for life, Gambit, or will he be removed? Will the people wake up and say no more? I'll definitely read on it, but there are two questions there, because one is, will he manage to be president for life? The second question is he out because the people say no more? Because it could just be, that somebody else is better at sucking up dictatorial power, and yeah, unfortunately. Kristen, will the Republican Party split into two parties? Good question. Oh, will the royal family put a hit on? Oh, look, but I don't think so. I honestly, I know there are some mercenary people out there, but I've never gotten that kind of energy from the royal family, but what do I know? Some people think that they took out Diana. Somebody took out Diana. But the Queen, my understanding, I could be wrong. I'll read on it. My understanding is the Queen is actually far too, oh, sorry. Kitty's coming up. I needed to move my notebook. To give him space. Yes, so he has space to come back. Because he's the good kitty. Yes, he is. He's like, well, if I'm going to get attention. No. This is Boo Boo's and Kitty. Belly Boo. The Queen is far too conservative. Very stick in the mud. But, hello, precious. How are you? You're having a good kitty day. Are you having a good kitty day? Okay. Linda's saying, just heard Tucker Carlson is going to run for president in 2024. My parents watch him. It's nails on a chalkboard. It really is. When I have the misfortune of being around when they're doing that. Whew. Mystic Maria, wasn't Autumn's reading yesterday particularly wonderful? That was very kind of you, Maria. Actually, I was going to say, I just wanted to make it clear that when I was talking about when I lived overseas, and where these the Maxwell, Epstein, the victims, I was saying, where are their parents? I hope, I got some comments and some people saying, you don't get it. You don't get it. And you don't understand this, and, thank every God there is that you did not have the life that some of these girls had, where their parents just abandoned them or on drugs or just basically hand them over to all kind of really scary situations and abuse. And I just want everyone to know, when I was talking yesterday, I wasn't bragging. It wasn't like, oh, I had this great education. Oh my gosh, no. And certainly in no way, shape, or form, I want to make sure it's absolutely clear, I was not saying it's these girls' fault themselves. Not at all. I was honestly, I should have put it better, because what I was saying was, where are the parents? And I meant that in not just the sense of, oh, they're down and having a cocktail party. No, I meant, like, even if they're on drugs, even if they're, they want a new relationship, and the new boyfriend, girlfriend doesn't like kids, so you dump the kid who's there. I mean, it's all these vile things that some people do to their kids. Where are the parents? Like, parents, these parents need to stand up. You are responsible. You are far too important to just abandon these defenseless people and these helpless kids. So that's what I meant, and I really did not mean to offend anybody or sound like I was saying I don't know what negative thing. I sincerely apologize if anyone thought that. That was not my intention at all. And Beelzebub Maxwell and that monster that she's a monster, and the monster that she did all of this with, and the people associated with it, they are vile. And it is not these girls' fault. So, okay. I needed to make sure I said that very clearly. Tucker Carlson for president. Yeah, okay. Maria. Hello, Ottoman gracious mods. We have the best moderators. Best moderators anywhere. I hope you are well. Is Putin ready to throw minus 45 under the bus just for an appetizer? I will, okay, I'm getting better at being able to read on Putin without, as long as I keep it very narrow focus like this. This is good. I can't just read on Putin just like in general, because he has the worst energy. It's awful. It's vile. Yeah. So, well, not the worst of the worst. The worst of the worst is like people like Epstein and Beelzebub Maxwell. So, yeah. Okay. Okay. Anything in? Oh, Kathy's saying thanks. I just printed the template. Oh, I'm glad. I hope it helps, Kathy. I really do. Maria Autumn. Loved the future reading. Could you read more on that today? How do we get there? What significant moments happened to lead us there? Oh, that's a good question. Well, I'm sure that after reading on some of this other horrible stuff, we will need some positive energy. Okay, looking for anything. How does Putin go away? Oh gosh. That's, yeah, you know that negative energy, that awful energy I was just reading, I just mentioned? Yeah. Oh, right, and I have to be careful. I don't take on too many questions because I won't get to them all. But I'm trying to a certain extent, I may not be able to do it every day, but on a lot of days I'm trying to take whatever questions I don't answer and put them in the comments for the following day's live stream. So if you're still interested in having any of those questions answered, you can just cut and paste them just back into the chat if you're still interested. So we'll try again. I don't know if that would help. Pamela, Supreme Court ruling on Trump's taxes tomorrow. Oh gosh, I hope so. They're not good, the powers that be, as it were. They're not good with time, but it's supposed to be either this coming week starting tomorrow, or the following week. Please, oh, please. Although I'll wait a week if it guarantees that this the Orange Menace gets actual oversight. Melissa's asking, will travel to Florida be safer in October? I read on this the other day. What's going on in Florida in October? I got that exact type of question the other day, and I read on it. So if you go back a few days and just have a look at the questions, just open the description box. It'll have it right near the top, and you can just have a look at the different questions. I kind of wish I had a database where I could just go here and do a search, but that would be a thing. That would be a thing. And unfortunately, this is only a part-time gig, so I've only got so much time. Sorry. I think I have caught up with the comments though, so this is good. And I have answered all the messages in Patreon, so that's good too. So, thanks you for the chart, Autumn. Love it. Great. Excellent. Glad you like it. Is this James Maxwell Trump guy for real? Who's James Maxwell Trump? I'm sorry, I don't even know who that is. Goodness. I'm sorry. Oops. Mims, thank you for the updated learning template. Autumn, you're welcome. Taurus, me, Scorpio, husband, and a Taurian dog at my house. Yes. Yes, there are very stubborn people in that house. Yes, there are. And that's a good thing, because I'm a Scorpio, so I like that energy. And hey, I spent a couple of decades married to a Taurus, so I know what it's like. I feel your pain. Thumbs up, that would help. That would help. Sharon Lee, good morning, Autumn, and all you beautiful friends. I like it. What do you think? Ian's asking. Oh yeah, Kanye West. Yeah, spoiler Kanye West. Let me see if I can. Yeah. You know what, I might even just start with that, just to ease into the ick. There will be ickiness, so why not start with the silliness? I read tarot cards on YouTube. If I'm calling you ridiculous or silly, boy, that's saying something. I'm fully aware of who this is coming from. Okay, oh my gosh, what? Oh my gosh, I have missed a bazillion questions. I don't even think I can read through the whole chat before, because it's already at 26 past. I'm so sorry, I've talked so much. If Trump's gone before the election, even more so with Pence, will some Republicans rally back to a new candidate, making it a tighter election? I haven't picked up on that and anything like that. But that's a very good question, Steve. The FEC deadline apparently passed. Okay, so they can't actually, nobody else actually can. Nobody else can run. Okay. Well, at least there's that. Kathy, when we get to the astrology part, would like to know about the eclipse. Eclipse. Save. Okay. And I love Steve Judd, yeah. Please read the energy of Aaron Robertson. Oh my gosh. Asantiwa. I know that how you pronounce. I've got my notes. I've got my notes on. You're listed first on how to pronounce names, so I can't. True crime. I'm afraid I'm gonna have to pass on that. I'm so sorry. There's just. I'm too water sign wussy energy to be able to do true crime. I don't watch it. I don't read it. I don't read on it. I'm sorry. Okay. Ewat, will Trump finally be exposed as a traitor? That's definitely a question worth reading on. Not that the others aren't. Just that's a good question. How many more positive tests and deaths will take until Trump changes his tune? Jean, it isn't the people suffering that's making him change his tune even a little. What's causing him to change his tune is the polls. Hi. How are you? How are you, sweetheart? And Kay Nelson, you're on my gift list when I win the lottery. Well, thank you for that. I appreciate it. Oregon Jewel, it's not okay to use your child as currency. Yes, thank you. Thank you very much. Goodness. Tucker Carlson, the Swanson food heir. Oh yeah, he's loaded. G-Day, will there be a new focus on Native American issues? Yes. Yes, not enough, because it will never be enough. But yes, there definitely will. Hi. You are just that little positive energy generator. Yes, you are. You make this so much more bearable. These people are terrible. These people are nice, but these people I'm reading on are terrible. But you're the good boy. Yes, you are a good boy. You are the good boy. Okay. Parents don't sell children. Yes, exactly. Will Epstein's arms dealing, spying, money laundering all come out? It feels like yes. There's all kinds of stuff that's going to come out. Kay Nelson, not rich now, but want to support the channel. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Kay Nelson. Okay, so it's half past. I gotta. Yeah, Melissa, I agree that those poor people. Oh, Lords, Disney food and wine in October in Florida. Well, that sounds like it could be fun. Yes, it does. But I read on it the other day. It wasn't looking good. Sorry. Maria, do you sage? Oh, Melissa saying thank you. Maria saying, do you sage yourself? It helps after reading on bad and vile people. I have sage over here. I don't sage as much as I should, but I generally find I'm pretty good just because I'm constantly throughout the day just drawing down positive energy. It's just like a habit. So, so that's helped a lot. Oh, thank you, Renee. Okay, I've got a bad feeling about Kanye West. Really? Well, that's where I'm starting. Can West be the right candidate? No. No. Okay. Okay. Well, hello, tiny cuteness, with that little heart on your face. You are the good boy. You're the good boy. Yes, you are. Okay, I'm going to get out some cards, and I will start reading them these questions as I will. Yeah, the energy is particularly nasty right now. It just is. He's such a good boy. I'm trying to see what, read more. What am I don't know if I want to, it's like I was going to use my Halloween deck, but I don't think I want this energy on my Halloween deck. And someone was saying that the other day, I was going to use Old Faithful here. The other day when I was using the zombie tarot, this person suggested strongly that I not replace my deck, that I basically throw it away because it's gross. Okay, I understand. But sometimes it's really helpful. I infuse some oil with sage and other herbs. It's amazing. Excellent. I'm sorry, Autumn. I meant, can West be a write-in candidate? Well, what the Housewives Tarot deck? That's a good one. That's a good one. Okay. Okay. We're almost at. Oh my gosh, we're almost at 29. Okay, I'm gonna be here a while. 29. Kanye West. Have I ever read on Kanye West? I don't think I've ever read on Kanye West. And I'm going to say this right up front. I'm not biased. I've never watched a whole episode of Keeping Up with the Kardashians. Of course, I think we've all been subjected to the odd clip here or there. You just, stumble across them. But, yeah, this is reality TV, and I are not. No. And the Kardashians, I wish them well. Good for them. I just, yeah. I don't get it, but I don't have to. To each their own. Just because you don't like somebody. Pink Love. No, Boo Boo turns his head like, no, you can't kiss my little nosy heart. Oh, his nosy heart. This little nosy heart. He has a little nosy heart. You can tell I don't want to do any of these readings on horrible people. But we're starting with Kanye West, so it shouldn't be that bad. He's okay when he is getting help. That's always good. All right. Kanye West for president. He just wants attention, but sure. Okay. Young adults as the audience. Okay. Daw. Kitty is more precious today. Thank you, Lauren. Kanye is a Trump lover. Yes, he was in the Oval Office. He's there, you know, I've run across the odd song of his that I was like, oh, that's a good song. And then I looked to see who it is. It's like, oh, wow. Huh. Kanye West. You know he'd play all his own songs at the rallies. Kanye West, I've never read on him. Okay, sitting up straight. Kanye West for president. This is me shaking my head. There's no there. I'm not saying he doesn't want it. It's just there's no. I'll pull some cards. There's no there. This is one of the many things irons he has in the fire. You gotta give him credit for the hustle. I don't give him credit for his political views, but you got to give him credit for the hustle. He's got a million irons in the fire. Yes, you have read on him. I remember because I left. Sorry, Cynthia says. Really? I don't even remember. Feels half-hearted, like he's trying to stay relevant. Yeah. Magician, yeah, him taking... Look at me. He wants another victory. Oh, look at rhymes. Chariot. He's going to move on to something else. All the irons he has in the fire. And then insult to injury. It's just on to more drama. On to more drama, on to, he's going to get a lot of grief for this, but it's attention, and ultimately it helps his sales, and it helps his whatever else. And he, you know, what he does, it's rarely an embarrassment to his wife's family, because they'll generally do anything for attention as well, so... There's no there. I'm sorry. He's going to go on to something else. That's all. Yeah, he just wants attention. Okay, you keep asking, do you have another spoiler, Jade Simmons? Spoiler for what? And who is Jade Simmons? I'm sorry, I don't understand. Linda's saying, yes, Autumn, you did. I did? I can't even remember reading on this guy. I remember because I left. That was classic. That's a classic comment. I don't even remember. Okay. 35. G. We're going from Yeezy to G. Bye, Kay. Yay, keep it moving. Nothing to see here. Yeah, Susan, I agree. Okay. President Xi, are you going to die calmly in your own bed at a ripe old age, still president for life, which means dictator of China? Or is your end going to be not quite as calm and Xi. Seven of Wands. Well, this is generally the card of the being in a defensive position, but it basically says that he has fought off all of the barriers to his own power, his own greatness, whatever. Justice, Queen of Cups, Six of Swords, Death card, Empress. That's interesting. I think there are going to be some internal changes in the country eventually. That speaks to a major change and a rise of feminine energy. If that's directed at me, thank you, Kay Nelson. This is a major change. In the women have been getting slightly, over the years they've gotten slightly more power. They were actually allowed to make more decisions. It's not just import and export, it's especially export. It's also immigration and people leaving the country. There are demographic changes as well. That's what it feels like. But that's two major arcana, Death and the Empress. You don't usually see these together. I don't. At least not that I remember. But yeah, this is there is going to be some change eventually in the country. They're trying to keep it in check right now. But, and certainly I think part of it, a little bit of it, I know what that is. I know what that energy is. I think part of it, not all, but part of it is their one-child policy, which left with so many more men than women. And there are men going over into other countries who are essentially buying wives. It's appalling. But even being stuck where they are, you still have this influx of people from outside. You have men going overseas to find wives, and even if they're not just flat out buying them. Oh gosh. But they're seeing what's outside of the country. There's this foreign influence, and there's the value of women, native Chinese women, and they're not going to. Not all of them are just going to just say, okay, whatever you want. It's like, no. That's what I'm getting for. I think there's going to be a rise of enough of feminine power or women, foreign influence from within, if that makes sense. And So Xi himself, what happens to him? Two of Pentacles. Well, this is all about unsteady energy. Very unsteady. Wheel of Fortune. Seven of Swords. Queen of Wands. He's on the rise, but there will be some kind of fall. This is the card of the Thief. But again, this is the rise of women taking action, women more active in the culture. And of course, every time that starts to happen in any significant way, you get those people who are saying that women are stealing jobs from men, and there's no concept of equality. They start, women just want to be superior to men. They want to make us kneel. It's like, no, it's called equality. Yes, it means women in charge. No, it means some men in charge, some women in charge. Equal chances to, okay. So some people you can't argue with. And, it's easy sometimes to forget just how, for all of our faults, of which we have many, considering I'm recording this while the Orange Fuhrer is in charge of the United States. He's the president of the United States. We are actually, compared to other parts of the world, this is pretty darn progressive. So, anyway. All right. 42. It's kind of good news, I guess. Well, 42. Will the Republican Party be split in two? Okay, let me see. Will the Republican Party be split in two? Good kitty. Republican Party. Boy, let me tell you, on Fox News, if all you watched was Fox News, you would never guess that half the stuff is going on that's going on. Seriously. Trying to focus on this energy. But outside of that bubble, it feels like that bubble is getting a little bit smaller every day. Harder and harder to stay in and not see the bigger picture. But if we're expecting all of Trump's supporters to suddenly turn on a dime, it's not going to happen. Okay, Republican Party, are you going to split in two? I can hear the whining from here. I realize I am a Democrat. I realize I have a biased perspective, and this is just my personal feeling. It is only my personal feeling. But we have a whiner-in-chief in the White House. And he's the victim. And his supporters, his core supporters, are also always the victim. The victim, I can't even say Merry Christmas. We can't say Merry Christmas. Of course you can say Merry Christmas. Your lips broken? What? We're the victims. We're the victims. We can't be Christian. Really? We can't, we actually have to, our businesses actually have to offer services to gay people. Yes, they do. People of color. Yes. Business, service to all. So when the Republicans are out of power, it's like I'm just pulling these cards and it's like I can hear the whining from here. Oh my gosh. I agree, Teresa, there has to be a blue tsunami to make the changes needed. Yep, to recover at a good pace. I agree. Yeah, stop the whining already. Oh boy. Yeah. Blue tsunami, anybody? Queen of Pentacles, Hermit, Queen of Wands, Victory, Pelosi, Victory, which leaves Four of Swords. No, when Trump's gone, it just kind of goes quiet. They're going to have a lot to answer for, and there's more that's going to come out over the next year or two. Kristen, breaking. Andrew's lawyers had discussions with a Washington lobbyist with ties to the Trump administration about the possibility of assisting the prince with fallout from his relationship with Epstein. Okay. Anyway, I'm not getting split in two. I'm not getting the card of rancor of that. I think it's Five of Wands. Everybody arguing. No, I've got the Death card, and I've got the Quiet as a Tomb card. So yeah, I'm not getting split, for what it's worth. Okay, what's next? 47. Well, you know what? We were just, this next question's about the royal family. So, I'm going to, I'll pull a couple of cards on the idea of a hit, but I want to ask, since we're on this topic, Trump or admin, someone around him, trying to Trump bar, who knows, trying to get Prince Andrew I don't want to just write the word off, because yeah, not arrested, charged. Okay. Has Trump, Barr, what have you, have they been, let's see here, let me shuffle. Is Trump, Barr, and what have you, have they been in talks to try to basically have Prince Andrew just go on with his life without being arrested or charged? Or are they trying to free Prince Andrew? Let's just say that. Is Trump, the people around Trump, are they trying to free Prince Andrew? Let's put it that way, because I don't want to use the other wording. Let's see here. Well, Trump administration, Prince Andrew. Trump people, Prince Andrew. Administration, Prince Andrew. Trump administration, and Prince Andrew. Definitely feels like people are trying to call in any favors that Barr owes them. Well, 10 of Wands. This is the card of the burden. It's also a court of multiple court cases. Trying to get the evidence. 5 of Swords, insult to injury, Strength. Ooh, 4 of Cups. 10 of Pentacles. 2 of Pentacles. Well, in the court of public opinion, Andrew's done. Absolutely done. There's no coming back from this. This is his place in history now. In the actual courts, what I've got here is he could do the most awful, vile things and get away with it because of his position, because of who he was, because of who he is, who his mother is. And this is definitely people for Andrew trying to get Andrew, you know, it's like, don't charge him, don't, you know, sure, it's a misunderstanding, maybe there's something we can work out. Teresa's saying Charles will let Andrew swing in the wind if given the choice. You may have something there, because what I've got here, I've got the family dynasty card, but I've got the 2 of Pentacles as well. So it's the same suit, and this is that card of incredibly unsteady, incredibly unsteady energy. And it doesn't feel like it's the whole family. It feels like Andrew was part of this, but then he's being kind of dropped off. Now the question is Trumpelstiltskin behind this in some form or another? Trumple Thin-Skin. Slime bag. And I would use worse language, but I try to keep it clean around here. Oh, Silent Echo's asking, Autumn, could you read on Andrew's ex, Sarah, see what she knows? Oh, Ferguson. Oh, boy. All right, so what is Trumple Thin-Skin and his minions? What have they got to do with this Andrew thing? All right, 6 of Swords. See, the problem is that Prince Andrew, I could be wrong, but for all of Prince Andrew's wealth, it doesn't feel like Trump cares about him, because Trump doesn't automatically put together how Andrew's going to put money in his pockets. Does that make sense? Anyway, well, 2 of Wands, that's the card of communication. 9 of Wands, the long-suffering people who've been trying to protect Andrew, because this is not an isolated incident, allegedly. 8 of Cups, oh, witnesses, evidence, witnesses. Hanged Man, Magician. I don't like that. I don't like the feeling coming off of this. It's like, yeah, we've got him. Oh, wait. Charges brought, wouldn't it be state courts rather than federal? It does, for what it's worth. It feels like William is so steeped in, you know, the monarchy, which, yes, you protect your family, but there reaches a point where family is that much of a liability even though they're blood, William's not gonna let the monarchy fall over this or get hammered over this. But he's not in power right now. So I don't think it's Trump himself. I don't think Trump cares. And I don't know if Barr could even do anything. Deb Z, I read about that at the beginning. So it'll be there. It's actually like the half hour mark. Andrew. Temperance. Oh, that card just disgusts me. This is a front. This is oh, I'm just this poor innocent. Please. 3 of Pentacles, 5 of Pentacles. This has been ongoing. This is see how these match? Like this looks like a church building, and then this is a church building. But these are the people who have money and are using this church building, and these are the poor souls who get used. Insult to injury right in the middle. Ace of Pentacles. Try to settle out of court. Try to hide it. Is he going to manage to settle out of court on all of this? Because Maxwell could throw him under the bus. Knight of Swords. Oh, there's some prosecutors out there who are not going to take this line down. Queen of Swords, King of Swords. These are prosecutors. Investigators, prosecutors talking to the victims. All the Knight, Queen, King. All kind of investigators talking to the victims. And this is just a lie. This is just a lie. My opinion, just a lie. Okay. So, but these investigators, they're not going to be, I don't think they would let him just buy them off and have them sign NDAs or whatever. I don't think that's going to fly. Whoops. Sorry, excuse me. The Tower card just fell out of the deck and hit the ground. You know your tower's fallen. Excuse me. You know the tower's fallen when I've got to push my chair back and reach under the desk to get it. Hello, cutie. So what happens to Andrew? I'm sorry, guys. This is just my opinion. The energy I'm picking up, it's vile. He's so guilty. This is not the only time he did this. He is my opinion, he is a rotten human being. He's disgusting. His energy is disgusting. All right, what about Fergie? And not Ferg, the Duchess, Of course, now all I can think of is London Bridge is falling down. Not the singer. Samantha, I agree with you. I'm literally waking up every day hoping for a breaking news alert that all of these people have been exposed. I agree. Sarah Ferguson, the actual Duchess. Okay. Her energy, I've never read, I don't think I've ever read on her. Her energy, it's different from his, but I'll just say this. This is what popped into my head. I'm seeing, did you guys see in one of the Lord of the Rings movies, probably the last one, where Frodo and Sam went into Mordor, but they had to take this other route, and they ended up having to deal with the huge spider? I'm seeing that spider like in the darkness with Sarah Ferguson's face. Where it's like, ugh, that's the energy I get from her. He's just vile. He thinks people are just plaything, just objects to use beneath him. Play the game of, oh yes, I respect you, yes, he doesn't mean any of it. But she's predatory. Black Widow, it's something like that. It's sneaking. What can she get out of it? What, wrap people up and suck them dry just to, get her own nourishment? Should do it. Cat Shepherd. Yes, Gollum led Frodo to Addercop's den, so should eat him and he'd get the precious back. Thank you. Addercop. That's what we're talking about here. But with Sarah Ferguson's face. 3, 4, 5. So, Duchess. She's got issues about money where she never has enough. She is broke. There we go. Parasite. There's never enough. There's never enough, and she's always. She needs it. She needs more. She needs more. She needs more. She knows. It's like ugh. Justice, 8 of Cups, 5 of Cups. She's disappointed she hasn't been able to make money off of this. Ace of Swords. Oh, and if it hurts her kids, tough. Normally, I mean, heck, even Melania, who is Ava Braun, I mean, she's awful, but at least she has the closest thing she can have to loving her son. Reading, I'm not doing personal readings. This is just political stuff. Sorry. Partnership. Oh, she'll turn this into a book. She'll turn this into a book and try to just make money like, yeah. She's had people, court problems because of debts, and she's had people come to her rescue in the past, but there's this scandal going on, and she is really disappointed right now that she's not making money off of this. And she just wants to I'll write a book. I'll write a book. So does she throw Andrew under the bus? Kimberly's saying, I hope Mary Trump brings every one of them down. Yeah, but Mary Trump doesn't know the royal family, but so is Sarah Ferguson, Duchess Sarah Ferguson. Is she actually going to is she going to write a tell-all? Is she going to throw Andrew under the bus to make as much money as possible? She's out of the loop. She's got nothing new on him. Oh, I understand. But she could, this is stuff from years ago. Will Sir Ferguson tell secrets to make money? It still surprises me. I know it's naive, and I'm an adult. I should know better, but it still amazes me that there are people who are so predatory. Predatory. It still amazes me that people would hurt other people this badly. I know that's naive. I know that's naive, and I've had a charmed existence that it still surprises me. But it still surprises me. This woman is broken. Seven of Wands on the defensive. Is she racking up debts again? She's on the defensive. My ex-wife made me believe her. Yes, Dave. The ex jokes. We all have ex jokes, but I'm being silly. Hierophant, Five of Pentacles. What does she spend so much money on? Oh my gosh. Upstairs. Diana got 17 million plus, 400,000 a year, whereas Fergie only got 20,000 a year, a house and some pocket change. She likely makes money for not publishing right now. London ain't cheap. That's true. That's true. Hello, cuteness. I would not let that woman anywhere near my cats. Gambling, maybe? Yeah. She does live with Andrew. Yeah, yeah. King of Cups in the middle. This feels like an interview on TV. Some interviewer who's being very, at 20,000 pounds a year. That's terrible. That's me. It's not great for London, but it's still. Oh wait, a year? 20,000 a year. Break that. Oh, that is pretty bad actually. Oh well. This is an interviewer. Did you see that? Did you know these kinds of things? Was he keeping? Was he hurting? This kind of ridiculous. She has tales to tell. Ten of Cups. Yeah. That's usually the happy family card, but no, it's right next to her telling the goods on what this was really like, and Beatrice, her daughters are Beatrice and who's the other one? Thank you, Dennis. Eugenie. Thank you. What about the daughters? Beatrice, Eugenie. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing their names. They didn't do this. Daughters being interviewed by, there are some investigators interviewing them at some point. Weird. Beatrice. Oh no, it was fine. Everything was fine, and I had a great childhood, and I'm part of this great family, and and now I have a great life, and everything's great, and everything's just fantastic and wonderful and perfect, and everything's perfect and wonderful, and as I mentioned, it's all perfect and wonderful, and that's all I have to say. Thank you. No comment. Eugenie. Ace of Pentacles. Queen of Wands. Lovers. It's more complicated for her. The whole mess hurts more. I don't know what sign Sarah is, but she sees her mother basically going for the money. But she loves her parents, you know, and even when they're horrible people. Wow, I never really got into the energy of that particular little part of the family before. And I'm glad I managed to get this far in life without, because I feel sorry for those kids. So that's all I'm going to get on that today, I'm afraid. Beatrice had to postpone her wedding, yeah, because of the, yeah, yep. Okay, okay, let me, I'm getting a little bit tired, but let me at least, which one of these should I read on? We're at 71 and a bit. Tucker Carlson, why not? Tucker Carlson. And then I will, is Tucker Carlson going to go into politics, run for president? And after that, I'm going to answer your general knowledge astrology questions. Boy, that reading on Prince Andrew and his family, that took a lot out of me. Yeah, I was right in there with that energy. It was, ugh. Full moon autumn? Yeah, that's not helping. Tucker's a joke. Tucker's, oh my God, yeah. Tucker Swanson Carlson, yeah. Yep, Nancy, that is true about Freud. Was it 80% that he said, though? All right, Tucker. It's not an act. He really is that awful. His money is given him, even though it's through he has his own money, and then isn't his wife the actual heir? But he's in such a bubble, and has completely bought into the idea that if you have money, therefore you are superior to everybody else. Tucker Carlson. He's such a small man. He's all sound and fury, signifying nothing. He's just yelling. There was this Victorian. It was a little drawing that was used in a Victorian ad. And I know this is obscure, but it was a caricature of a man, really one of those impressive Victorian mustaches and what have you, but with a giant head and a little body, and he's got this flag, or this big kind of flag-shaped card or something, and he's got it raised over his head, and he's yelling. And then you can put what you want the thing to say, but little black and white drawing. But I'm getting that with him yelling, but it's only this big. At most, it's this big, and that's him. I don't mean like from here to the floor. I mean like from here to here to here. That's him. He's a very small man. Very. Card for the reading. Card for the reading, 4 of Cups. Then I've got 3 of Pentacles, Tower, Ace of Pentacles. The whole Trump thing era is going to implode, but he's got his money to keep him warm. And his, I'm guessing his wife. He's got money to keep everything fine. I don't. Is he actually going to run? Okay, the Hermit just flew out of the deck. Guess these things happen when I'm tired. Oh, yoy. Gonna run, Tucker. King of Pentacles. Well, he thinks he's of course he can do it because he's rich and he's right. Three of Wands, 7 of Wands, 9 of Pentacles. No. Because there is so much of him on tape. Be like Boo Boo's on Kitty, chill. He has his cat mama. Aw. There's so much stuff he has said on tape. You can just start with the ads, and he'd be on the defensive within 24 hours, and he'd stay there. They would just run constant ads. It's all there. And he's like, fine, then I'll take my money, and I'll just enjoy my money. He's fine. See, I read on despicable people and what's going to happen to them, and he's going to enjoy his money. That's it. That's him. And as I noticed when I was shuffling and I cut the deck, those are the 2 cards, Sitting Pretty and the Devil card. That's Tucker Carlson right there. All right, well, that's that. Okay, I am afraid I'm going to go on to astrology now because I'm a bit too tired to read. Let's see here. Does anybody, if you need to go, I understand. It's not for everybody. All right, where are we? We're at 78 in a bit. Okay, so 78:30. All right. Have a fantastic day. If you are not into the astrology, I really hope you have a good day. Okay, so now I am open to your general knowledge astrology questions. I know that Kathy was asking about the eclipse. But anybody else have anything they would like to know about astrology? As I put this away, anything that confuses you, anything that you don't understand or you'd like to know about? Yods. Oh, people are going, I understand. Well, all right, I'm just trying to see if I can get a, pull up an image finger, known as the finger, yod. They're aspects between planets. It's known as the finger of fate or the finger of God. A rare astrological aspect involves any 3 planets that form an isosceles. Long skinny triangle like a witch's hat. If you can see this. See if this will. No, I don't think I can pull that up. All right, let me just go back here, pull up an image. Not going to be helpful, huh? No, I do not mean Yoda. Thank you for playing. I love Bugs Bunny. Renee's listening. Okay. Finger of fate, finger of God. Well, what I do know about a yod, and I'm not an expert, certainly, when it comes to this, but people talk about it a lot. What a yod is, are any of these images big enough to show you? Okay, I didn't want to have to draw it, but maybe I'll have to draw it. Are you a good sized image? All right. No, it's not a good sized image. Okay, but the upshot is, if you can see this, I don't know if you can, but basically what's happening, you know how the other day, yesterday actually, I was talking about like a T-square. And what was that? Oh, is it the stuff at the bottom? I actually organized this morning as best I could. And what I want is here. Okay. Do you remember yesterday where I was talking about a T-square? We have, during this eclipse yesterday, we had moon over here, Mercury over here, and they were opposite each other. And that energy was sloshing back and forth. But then there was this Mars is here, and it's square to both Mercury and square to the moon. So this is called, because of this shape, it's called a T-square. Okay. There are other things you can get in charts where, I don't know if I've got one, I don't think I've got one handy, but they can be, oh, I know which one, I know what sheet I'll use. I have extra sheets of the aspects. Look at that. Because on a chart, where planets are on the circle, for instance, so there are single, this is a trine. There are single planets where if you have a planet here and you have a planet there, they are trine, they're 120 degrees away from each other, from here to here, 120 degrees. And that is a gentle flowing like being on like a summer day on inflated, like one of those tubes, and you're just lounging on it, and you're gently drifting down the river, you know, on a hot, nice, warm summer day. It's just lovely, lovely, comfortable energy. Okay, so this is good to see. You get this lovely. You know, these two planets. They're having a good time on the river. They're just happy as could be. Okay, well, that's good. But what can also happen is you could have another, like that's 120 degrees. Well, 120 degrees from there would be over here. Okay, so then you've got a planet here, you've got a planet here, you've got a planet here. They're all roughly 120 degrees away from each other, okay? And it makes a big shape, makes a big triangle that looks like this. Okay? This, instead of it being a trine, this is called a grand trine when you have 3 planets, okay? People who have a lot of grand trines, like if they have one, it's great. If they have like a number of them, and I can think of one person who shall remain nameless, an actor I can think of, but who has all kinds of grand trines. And this person is, the thing is this energy, it's super trines, super energy, extra. So it's to the point where it's like he goes around congratulating himself for doing the least. Because, yeah, this is great, that feels great, this feels great, that feels great, this feels great, this is... So, you know, this particular person, who shall remain nameless, is a Caucasian male who had success in life, who acts as if he believes he is entitled to the great success, but of course he has earned it all himself because he's worked hard, when in reality his whole life is about that deep. It's about that deep because he's never challenged himself. He's never come up with the real creative, the hard answers, the real twists of so a trine is wonderful. You get too much of it, nah. If you get too much of a square, that's a lot of friction. If you get too many planets conjunct, it's a stellium, and it has a very very powerful effect in that one place in your life. If you have a lot of oppositions, you have energy just sloshing back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. So, I mentioned this is a trine. Well, half of a trine, let me see if I can turn this over. Because the circle, I think roughly kind of goes like this, and I just drew on my clipboard. Okay. All right, this is the kind of trine situation. Well, half of a trine, so if something was here, and then here, it would be 60 degrees, which is called a sextile. Okay, it's like a trine with that lovely energy, but it's more energizing. It's still positive and what have you, but you know, it's a little bit more shorter. You know, it's not lounging all day on the river. We're going to do a short jaunt down to here, and then we're going to get up and we're going to do this, and we have more of an aim, okay. So that is a sextile. Yes, we are still on yods. I'm getting there. Okay. Talking about oppositions. right here, there is something called, actually, I might be able, I think I've got a plain sheet I could use. Okay, I've got that, got that. Yeah, that works. I'll use this. Okay, so it's a good way to draw this. All right, let's say you've got a planet here. All right, so you've got Mars there. So then each of these signs is 30 degrees, so 60 degrees would be here. Let's say you have a planet here. All right, so these are sextile. And you'll see a short blue line. Okay, now when a planet isn't quite opposite, like this, it's not quite opposite, it's just 30 degrees off. And you'll just usually see it as a dotted line. Okay, there's a more complicated word for it, but it's often called the inconjunct. Okay? And so rather than the energy sloshing back and forth, whatever's here and whatever's here, they're aware of each other. But they're aware of each other. They don't necessarily integrate very well. It's like, okay, I acknowledge you. I acknowledge you. All right, so that's slightly off. Well, with the yod, what you have, you take the right across from here, let's say you have your moon right there. Okay, that would happen to be, because it's right here, because it's straight across from here would be here, straight across from there would be there, halfway between is here. So these are in conjunct. Okay? It's 150 degrees. Opposition, that's 180. That's 180 degrees. In conjunct is 150. Okay, so when you have this going on, what happens is you have your say here, you've got your Mars and your Venus, and they are very nicely energizing each other. What and how you love and how you take action, they are helping each other out. They understand each other. Your anima and animus, they get along. You're accepting. This is good. Now, when your emotions try to get involved, because this is your moon, this good energy is like, hey, there's somebody else at the party. And they're trying to, there's all this energy kind of builds up, but it's you get, you're a mathematician. Oh, I'm so not, but thank you, I appreciate that. Oh, okay. So you've got a double in conjunct. If you just had one of these, it'd be like, okay, when I'm taking action, I don't necessarily use my emotions, but I'm aware of them. I can like maybe I can intellectually work it out, but I'll do something, you know, I'll make it work, but I'll just take action. This kind of has to be a little bit on its own. It's aware of this, it wants to work with this, it doesn't forget about this, but it's doing its thing. And then if you had this, what and how you love, Venus down there, here, and then your emotions here. They what and how you love and your emotions are not quite gelling. You can kind of think of it this way. Let's say that this was at 1 degree of Gemini, and this was at 1 degree of Scorpio. One degree of Gemini, it's about communication. It's an air sign, ruled by Mercury. It is also a mutable sign, which means it's all loosey-goosey. Let's, Gemini people, especially, well, Gemini people are, okay, I better use a different example. They can be flighty. They're very, very social. Scorpios tend to be homebodies, intense, passionate. Okay, so if you've got Gemini energy that has to work with Scorpio energy, they can work it out, but they're going to be, you have to accept some very fundamental differences. So it's kind of clunky, if that makes sense. Finger of God, yes. Well, if you put them together, Hagrid flashback, shouldn't have said that. Geminis are friendly, very friendly. Now, but if you've got 2 of those all going to the same point, you've got this energy, this wonderful energy, we want to share it, and it's just like clunk, 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 clunk. Like, you can think of it like a road that isn't paved, fully paved properly. Clunk, 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 and it's coming from both of these. And it's so this, and the moon has even more trouble trying to split its energy to come back down the clunk, 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 and clunk, and so most of the energy goes that way because they have more energy to clunk, 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 and it narrows down and it focuses in, and it all hits there at the same time. So that's the best way I can explain what a yod is in a chart. I don't know if that helps, but anyway, kind of like a toothpaste tube. There we go. Okay. There were some other questions here. Okay, I've got Sun, Mars, and Chiron and Capricorn. Okay. Well, I can use this sheet if you don't mind, because we're talking about Capricorn. This is Capricorn, 10th house. If you want the color version, Capricorn, it's right here in this 10th little wedge. 10th house. Career status, we achieve. Okay. The workaholics, usually Sun in Capricorn, are known generally. I mean, obviously there can be other things mitigating stuff in the chart, but generally they're known as the workaholics of the zodiac. I had the great fortune of dating a Capricorn for a few years, many years ago. Wow, yeah, could work for days without sleeping, just work, very, very Rihanna. Yeah, the Capricorn energy. I don't know if you're familiar with anything to do with like K-pop, Korean pop music. There's a band called GOT7. You don't have to know who it is, but there's this group called GOT7. I shouldn't say a band, it's a group, and they've been around for quite a while, so they each have Wikipedia pages for each member. Fine, whatever. The leader of the group, because every Korean pop group has a leader. The leader of the group is he's known as JB, and JB is a Capricorn. So you go down any of the other people's Wikipedia page, and it's like, okay, yeah, they've done this, they've done that, that have accomplished things as a group, you know, what have you. You go to you get to JB's page, you go down, and then suddenly it's one of those gargantuan tables of awards and extracurricular things accomplished and more. I mean, like, oh, Jackson has a lot of extra stuff, and so, you know, these people have another extra. No, JB just on and 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 on. It's like, oh, spot the Capricorn. All right, so you said you have your Sun, Mars, Chiron. Okay. Your Sun is your sense of self. Your Mars is how you take action. Chiron, if I got the right symbol, I hope I've got the right symbol. I can't even remember the last time I drew a Chiron. Chiron. Yeah, that's the right symbol. Okay. Chiron is the wounded healer. In mythology, Sun is self, Mars is action. Chiron, it's actually an asteroid. And this is the wounded healer. In mythology, he was hurt. He was wounded. Okay? But he was wounded by something magical, whatever it was, so that the wound would never heal. And so wherever you have Chiron in your chart, what Chiron did is he began helping others who were in pain because he understood their pain. He understood what it was like to be in pain. His pain never went away, but he used that knowledge to help others. Okay? Where your Chiron is in your chart is somewhere where you have some kind of deep wound. And it's very hard to heal if you can heal it at all. But it's also where you understand other people who are suffering in that area. I want to say that I personally, I think I've got Chiron in Aries, if I remember correctly. Aries, which is the first sign, is all about the self, and he's the warrior, god of war. Is you know, you're born. This is the first house. You're born. You're in physical form, and you cry out. That's what Aries is all about, ruled by Mars taking action and what have you. My Chiron's here, so I can have trouble. So it's hard to admit. I can have trouble sometimes standing up for myself, and really I don't want to be passive aggressive. So I'm aware of, because to me that's just the same. It's just quiet attacks. But I avoid conflict. I don't like drama. And people who have been in abusive households, or they've been in bad situations, I feel for them. I struggle with this. And people who've had this kind of problem, they'll understand. Now, when you have, normally if you've got yourself and you've got Mars, how you take action in the same place, or at least in the same sign, I don't know how close they are, but if they're in the same sign, they're going to match up. Your sense of self and how you take action are going to be able to work together. They focus on this career status hierarchy. The UK is Capricorn. So this is great. This is great. They're in agreement. If you have Chiron there too, though, there is something about this that is hard. Something about this that it's even hard to talk about. But because you understand that, and then your sense of self is there, and how you take action is there, you are in a particularly good position to understand people who are struggling with Capricorn kinds of problems. It's hard, but that's what that gives you. So, I don't know. Let me just scroll down because I don't know if that helped you at all. Chiron is in the third house in Pisces. Okay, third house down here. This is the house of Gemini, and you're saying the Chiron itself is in Pisces, which is, that's a symbol for Pisces here. It's the last house, the last sign in the zodiac. It's about, it's a water sign. Pisces is a water sign ruled by Neptune. Neptune is all about art, fiction, spirituality, and the house itself is about institutions. So it can be a church, it can be like churches, hospitals, just institutions of various natures. All right, so in the house of communication down here, the most important thing is what sign it's in. There's a background flavor of this. So if your Chiron is in Pisces, 12th house, spirituality, institutions we serve, then there is a wound that has to do with institutions, that has to do with serving. And in the background of that is communicating probably what you need. So but because of that situation, you are in a great position. It's hard, it hurts. That's the whole thing about Chiron. It hurts. But you're in a position to help other people who are struggling with that, or with any other wound of this nature that to communicate to help them. There we go. My childhood makes sense. I'm so sorry. Okay, incredibly interesting. Autumn helped understanding somewhat. Thank you, Mims. It helped me a lot looking where my Chiron is. Oh, Renee, I understand that. Chiron in Pisces, 10th house. Okay. Chiron in Pisces would work too, only instead of your strength of being able to communicate that, it's hard to do that. It would be hard to work it out, work with status, improve your status. This wound holds you back because it's in the 10th house. But the main thing is it's this wound in your spirit, this wound in, could be institutions, it could be spirituality, it could be, it's a water sign, so it's very emotional. So you just have to take the key words and just see kind of what speaks to you. Okay, I'm sorry I'm going up backwards, but okay, Susan's asking, are Virgos loosey-goosey too, since ruled by Mercury and mutable? Well, they're mutable. I wouldn't call them loosey-goosey. Virgos are exacting. I always think of Japanese craftsmanship when I think of Virgo. That meticulous, amazing craftsmanship. I think of craftsmen, craftswomen, craftspeople, where it's an earth sign. They bring things into of the earth signs. Taurus grows it, Virgo crafts it. Capricorn makes it expensive. So, Virgo is, so it has that incredible craftsmanship, but it's mutable in the sense it's got this Mercury zipping around compared to the other planets. Mercury is just zipping around the sun. Zip, 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 zip. And so you've got more, how do I put this? There's this energy, this movement, this energy. I mean, Mercury also rules Gemini, which is another mutable sign. It's moving. It's moving. It gives a speed. It gives can deal with, it's not just one craft you work on and then you never, you do your one masterpiece and you never do anything. No, these are craftspeople. And this is daily work. It can be health. There are a lot of daily work and craftsmanship, I think, are the overriding overriding energy of Virgo. So you work on this meticulous craftsmanship. You make sure it's perfect, and then you do the next one. And you think about, there's a great story. I don't know if it's true, but I love the story anyway. I heard it when I was in art school. And it was that, think of Virgo this way. I was told that back in days gone by, if you wanted to be a potter in Japan. Thank you, Kathy. Thank you. Dave, don't worry, autumn people are naturally protective of you. Oh, thank you. Thank heavens. Anyway, no, but Virgo, okay, so Japanese, you wanted to be a potter. So you would apprentice with a master potter, right? And you would basically show up and it would be like, okay, this is how you get, they show you the basics, all right? But then they'd be like, okay, you have 3 days to make 100 cups. Oh, is this? There we go. Now that's working through. You have 100 days, sorry, you have 3 days to make 100 cups. And it's like, what? So the person would stay up all night and they would just work and work and work, and they would make 100 cups. And then at the end of the 3 days, the master would come by, the kind of old guy with this walking stick kind of master, cliche. And he would look at the cups, and then he would pick up his walking stick and he would start smashing the cups and just smash all the cups and he'd say, do it again. You have 3 days. Okay, fine. So 3 days, another 3 days, 100 cups. And better, okay. And after 3 days, come back, look at that, smash the cups again, do it again. By the time that, other than being delirious from lack of sleep, by the 3rd, 4th, 5th time you've done this, when they said and this guy says make 100 cups, you can just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You're so good because you've done it. That's kind of like slap the water story. Okay, I'm not familiar with that one, but yeah, I understand. But you can think of Virgo in that sense. It's the craftsman, and the mutable energy isn't it's this craftsmanship, but then you get good at it by doing, by doing, by doing, by doing, by doing again, by doing this, by doing something related, by making this other thing. So do you understand why Virgo is mutable? Hopefully, I know I'm long-winded. Let me see if I can. My Chiron is an Aquarius. Well, what is Aquarius? It's up here. 11th house, friends and humanitarianism. We love. It may be that the wound your inner wound may have something to do with perhaps not feeling special. Being treated like you're just like everybody else, or you feel that way, or you've been treated that way. Because that's the dark side of it. Because in a sense, we're dealing with the dark sides of these signs. What can go wrong in these areas? So, one thing I did, which is I find worth it, and I wouldn't even necessarily choose one particular thing, but I have actually gone online and I've printed out, just looked for astrological houses, right? And I've printed out all of these things that I have found, where it can show you different things, different areas, but also, and if you excuse, a number of these have little bite marks in the top of the paper. Gosh, I wonder where those came from. But you'll get some of these, actually it's probably easier to see in this one, where you took those same houses, this one's sideways, because that's the ascendant, this is Aries. Okay, you can see how the houses match up, hopefully. Yeah, and this gives you keywords. Aries, first house, birth, the self, our mask, how we present ourselves to the world, self-expression, it could be new beginnings, first impressions, physical appearance, how we affect others, how we perceive the world, going out in the world. Okay, and then second house, house of Taurus, money, values. Values and valuables is the second house. Security, self-worth, innate wealth, possessions. Remember, it's ruled by Taurus. It's not in a bad way, but it's a materialistic sign. It's the first earth sign. It's about making the material. It's about growing the garden. It's about having object attachments, personal resources. Okay, things like this, which will give you these keywords for each of the signs, because that's what it is. It's in these houses, but it corresponds to the signs, and there are different ones out there, and they're just just Google where you get the houses, and it'll give you keywords: physical body, personality, appearance, outlook on life, beginnings, values, possessions, earnings, ability, inner and outer resources. Third house, Gemini, communication, blah blah blah. So asked for permission. Everyone in the village asked him what he'd learned. Oh, Kat's telling the story. My dad was a Pisces. He drove me nuts. He was clingy and corny and saccharine. He was determined to spoil me and didn't teach me any life skills. I'm sorry, I'm laughing. I just, oh my gosh, that is such a Pisces. It's such. One of my favorite singers in the whole world is a man named David Sylvian. If you've never heard his voice, Orpheus, Darkest Dreaming, he has the most amazing voice, and he writes all of it. He writes all his own stuff, and he's what have you. He is a Pisces, and he's very attractive. In the early 80s, he was voted the most attractive man in Britain, kind of thing. And he was very, but he had 2 long-term relationships, and it's always seemed like the women got restless. And he himself, he's so good at being an artist, which Pisces ruled by Neptune. I mean, it's so fantastic, but at the same time, it's like you want a little more fire, a little, come on. You know, but he worked hard, and he's a great, oh my gosh, his voice is like a miracle. But yeah, that Pisces, you just want to. So anyway, to teach many life skills. Okay, and then fill it up and do it again. And day after day, the same thing. Fill a pot, slap the water out. In and out of a year, and the young man got frustrated. What was the wisdom? So he went back to his village with his master's permission, and everyone in the village asked him what he learned. The young man got angry and shouted, "In truth, I have learned nothing." And he pounded on the table, and the table broke in half. That makes sense. Yeah, kind of like a wax on, wax off kind of story. I love the Smiths. Makes so much sense. Okay. Okay. Well, that's going to do it for me. It's just after 2 o'clock. So that's going to be it for me for today. I hope I helped. I really do hope I helped. Yikes. Don't forget, in the comments, there is a link. You can download your free version, your free copy of this. Just go over there, just save the image, and there you go. And yes, thank you to our moderators. My gosh, you really do make this possible. And thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. I really appreciate it. It's a lot. This is a lot. We're going through, may you live in interesting times. Really is a curse. But we're here, and we're going to get through it. We're going to get through it together, okay? Everybody hang in there, please. All right, and I'll see you tomorrow, and I will answer more political astrology questions, and I'll copy over the ones I didn't answer today. I'll put them in the comments tomorrow. So if anyone still wants those answered, you can just copy and paste them back into the chat, and I'll see if I can get to them. All right, hang in there. Have a great day, everybody. Thank you for being here. All right, and I'll see you tomorrow. Okay, bye-bye.